This is the Kitchen Sink WP Podcast, episode 316.
I program my home computer.
We have a server crash, 404 error, page not found, links aren't working, system is crashing, system is crashing, system is crashing.
Your old HTML website, barely alive. We have the technology. We have WordPress. A new website, better than it was before. Better, stronger, faster. We have the technology. Why, hello everybody. This is Adam Silver, the host of the Kitchen Sink WP podcast. Thanks for being here. Let's get started. Alrighty. So upcoming events would be normally right now, but we're going to switch the upcoming events to postponed or canceled events because, well, yeah, a lot of things are being canceled and postponed due to the coronavirus, otherwise known as COVID-19. We'll talk about more about that in a minute as well. So the upcoming canceled or postponed events is this. WordCamp Albuquerque was March 20th. It's been postponed. We don't have a new date yet. WordCamp Las Palmas de Gran, Canaria, also March 20th, was canceled completely. And WordCamp Geneva, March 20th, has been postponed. So if you're going, make sure you stay in touch with those groups and those teams to see about getting a refund for your ticket and or a updated date when it comes out. And I will just continue to do that. I'll let you know what's been postponed, canceled, or rescheduled already as we kind of struggle through this weird time of the world right now. So there you go. All right, segment one in the news. Two things here. WooCommerce 4.0 came out about a week ago, about a little over a week ago. Main differences here, it's been a full rewrite, so it's no longer backward compatible, as they say in the notes. They've added a ton of JavaScript to the core. The admin panel has been kind of condensed, rewritten from the ground up. So my recommendation is to back up your site. Install 4.0 on a testing server, of course. Test it there before you roll it out onto your live site if you're using WooCommerce. So there you go. And there'll be a link to the show notes as well about WooCommerce and all of what's changed. So, also in the news is WordPress 5.4 release candidate 2 is now available. We're still on track for March 31st. You can test it by using the beta tester plugin or get the latest releases from the Bleeding Edge Nightly's option as well. Block editor was updated to work with the right packages. Bundle theme 2020 content for CSS was important and fixed. There's a lot more in there as well, but we are still on track, about 2 weeks away from that being released. So that is it in the news. Moving on to the meat and potatoes of this week's show, and that goes right back to why things are being canceled. So this week we're talking about COVID-19 and what that means for you from working from home, as a lot of companies. The main news right now, of course, is that people are being asked to work from home. Schools are being canceled. Workplaces are being closed for a 2 to 4 week period. And those home requests from companies are becoming a real thing. Lucky for me, I've done this for a while. I've done it for the past 4 years consistently, working from home or a coffee shop, but remote working. And when I had the jobby job, I did that for a few years. But then I had 3 years prior to that working from home for myself as well, doing more photography work, but still. So about 7, 8 years now of experience. And I have some insights, and some are good and some are bad as far as what I've learned about it with making mistakes and whatnot. So I'm going to share with you 4 things. Actually, maybe 5 things. I don't know. Maybe there's more. I don't know. I think I'm looking at my notes here. So here's the things I'm going to share with you about working from home and what you might want to consider when it comes to setting things up. So first and foremost, you need to make a space to work from, meaning you really need your own dedicated space if you can have that. And dedicated space means, in my opinion, is a door that closes. And the reason you want that is for privacy and for the ability to then also leave work at the end of the day, close the door, walk away, and you can that way you kind of have that blocking off of responsibilities. Not easy to do. Obviously, a lot of people don't have extra rooms, so that's hard to do. And if you do have an extra room, but if you find yourself going into it, like I do often, my family thinks I work all the time. I don't work all the time. I just happen to have a comfortable home office. So I like to be in here sometimes just to read, for that matter. So if you don't have a dedicated space, pick a space that works better there are spaces that work better than others. And for example, stay away from busy areas like the kitchen, where you will often find yourself being disturbed because people come and go in a kitchen space all the time. It's usually a center hub of a household. So if you can't lock yourself in a room, and you don't want to be in the kitchen, pick a room that, maybe has a door if it's not lockable, but just let people know that you are working and you can't be disturbed. So maybe put a sign on the door at a bare minimum, right? Just even, when I record my podcast, I don't have anything fancy. I just have a sign outside with blue painter's tape that says recording. So now, of course, if you have little kids in the house, this makes it much harder. But you need to work with your partner, because you and your partner might be, taking turns working from home. Or how is that going to work? If you have kids as well, school's being closed, they're going to be around. So maybe you need to take some work out a schedule. Who gets to work when, for how long, and who manages the kids as well. So, I'm lucky. Just yesterday, my kids slept in, along with my wife, until 1:25 p.m., which is crazy. It was a weekend, I get it, but 1:25 p.m. I didn't see them. I'm up at 5 a.m., so I didn't see them for 7 hours. It's the weekend, so I didn't do a whole lot of work on Saturday. But there you have it. So find a space, ideally dedicated, with a door. If not a door, or not privacy, don't be in the kitchen, because you're going to be distracted. Trust me. Okay. Number 2, organization and structure. So what I mean here is set an alarm. Do your normal morning routine, like exercise, walk the dog, read the paper, but then get to it, meaning get to work. Go take a shower, get dressed, and if your office hours are usually 9 to 5, then knock off at 5 p.m. Get to work at 9, finish at 5. Any unfinished business can be done tomorrow. You working from home is out of courtesy to your employer. Obviously, maybe a requirement, but you can't just always be working. Trust me, I try, and it's difficult, and I do work probably way too many hours than I need to. But if you're working for a company and you have a set schedule, work your set schedule. But have the organization, have the structure, do your thing, and then be done with the thing that you do. Okay. Number 3, avoid distractions. Okay, so cleaning dishes, laundry, it seems so easy. It'll take 20 minutes of your time while you're watching an episode of something on Netflix. Or you organize the bookcase, book by the color first, and then alphabetical by order, and then by size. And it all seems important, but you're wrong. What needs to be done here is the work. Maybe the proposal that the client will pay you for once you're hired, or perhaps creating and building new pages of another really good long-standing client who's waiting for 2 extra weeks now because you decided not to get to them faster. For whatever reason, working from home is easily to be distracted. It's super simple to get distracted is what I'm trying to say here. So the work has to get done no matter where you are. You have to kind of just put the butt in the chair and get the work done. So avoid the distractions. The cleaning can wait, okay? If you really must attend to something of a domestic duty, I will say this. Do it on your lunch break, because you need to take lunch. Don't have lunch at your desk. Wherever that desk may be, don't do it. Take a break, take the hour. If you want to then do dishes or do a load of laundry, fine. But then, move on, get back to work. If you have an idea for something related not to work, write it down and review it at the end of your workday. Don't just stop and say, I'm going to go do this right now because this is the most important, brilliant thing. Right now, the thing is to stay consistent to the job you're hired to do and put in the time. Okay. The other thing here is take breaks and move and stand up. And I'm lucky. Having a standing desk for me and an Apple Watch really helps me. Reminds me to stand up if I'm sitting still for 50 minutes in a row. And then drinking water helps, because the more water you drink, it makes you stand up and go use the restroom. Now, truth be told, I am terrible at drinking water. And I'm pretty sure my superpower, one of my main superpowers is to be dehydrated. But to the person right now listening out there who knows this, who knows yourself well and knows me well and says, you need to drink more water. Yeah, I know. I just say hush, calm your horses. But the way I solve this is by having the hydro flask filled with water on my desk in the morning. And I try to get that 21 ounces of water down before noon. And it sounds crazy. Only 21 ounces? Yes, that's for me. That's a lot of water. It's almost 3 glasses of water, plus 1 at dinner, plus a cup of coffee. It all kind of works its way out. But I will go sometimes days without drinking water, which is not good. So take breaks, move, stand up, drink water. That'll help you out. Okay. A couple more here. 2 more. Social interaction. There are many, many ways, obviously, to have social interaction online. Not quite the same as being at the water cooler or the lunch or the break room at work, but, you can do it with the online tools we're accustomed to using. Slack, Zoom, Hangouts. My advice here is don't be, so flippant that you work from home and you can just be in those rooms all day long. Spend some time in them, catch up on things, and then get back to work. Okay. And lastly, you want to plan tomorrow, meaning have a shutdown routine. I plan my week on Sundays, and then when I finish up for the day, I try to plan my tomorrow at the end of my current today. That way, when I wake up in the morning, I'm not stressed out about what I have to do and waste another hour to figure that out. I can answer some emails real quick. I can add those to my list at the end of the day, but I know what I need to get done the next day. because you know where you're leaving things at the end of today. So plan tomorrow at the end of today, okay? So those are my tips for you. Now, on the issue of tools and services, I want to highlight a couple of things because of the current issue we have. Some companies are stepping up to help out. For example, Loom is a screen recording tool. I use ScreenFlow, but Loom is offering to remove the 25-minute limit to record screen captures, and they're giving you a 30-day free trial, and they're offering 50% off for their higher packages for the Pro version through July 1st. If you want to take a conference online for some reason, let's say you're supposed to have some type of webinar or conference, Crowdcast has a webinar on how to do that. I'll link to this in the show notes as well, by the way. TechSmith is offering free access to expand use of their digital tools through June 30th. I think they work with educations and universities, so check out TechSmith. I'll put a link in the show notes as well. So there's some tips right there. There's a ton out there right now on social media. There's a ton of negativity, a lot of fear. I get that. Obviously wash your hands and try not to be a vector to spread this. But those are some tips if you are finding yourself working from home all of a sudden unexpectedly. All right. Segment 3, tip and tool of the week, which actually goes right back to this same topic. Is a website. If you don't know how long to wash your hands for, there's a website called washyourlyrics.com. It generates a hand-washing infographic based on your favorite song lyrics. You can do a poster. You can. It's kind of fun. So check that out. It's over at washyourlyrics.com. And actually, I have a bonus one, which I will play at the end of this. I have a bonus tip and tool of the week. But first, I want to wrap things up. If you have any questions, go ahead, send it in via email, adam@kitchensinkwp.com. Use the speak pipe function. If you want to support the show, become a Patreon, want to sponsor, form on the website. Thanks for listening. See you next week. Now I'll go out and do some awesome things with WordPress. But first, here's a little bonus for you. This was actually created by Lindsay Crider. She was on The Voice Season 6. She did a song remix of 9 to 5, Work From Home Edition. Take a listen, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
I get in a bed and I got another hour. Don't even know if I'm gonna shower, 'cause I'm not gonna see anybody today. I find a good spot with a nice looking backdrop, taking my meetings right here on my laptop. I'm CEO of my home sweet home away. Working 9 to 5 or whenever to whenever, testing my Wi-Fi so my team can get together. Gonna lose my mind if we don't have a Slack chat. I think I'd go crazy without that. I open up the call and I get my introduction, apologize for my neighbor's construction, and mute myself before they'll hear a sound. I'd sneak in a snack, but the fridge is gone empty. Had myself a lunch at 10:20 and